Welcome back to Make Culture Great Again, something that we all need to do as a country. I am back, DeAnna Lorraine, your host, with Dr. Duke Pesta, who's on with me, who's going to go a little bit deeper into these issues of the basically Orwellian world that we've been living in. Dr. Duke, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks. Good to see you again, DeAnne.
Okay, great. Let's give you a little intro real quick.
He's an associate professor of English at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. And on the first day of class, he asks his students to drop the course if they're offended by certain ideas or beliefs. Come on in, my hero, Professor Duke Pesta. Professor, can I call you Duke? Is that okay?
Duke is great, thank you.
Okay, Duke. They ask you make your students sign a contract at the beginning of the year, right? Saying, right, if you don't sign, don't take the class. Is that it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we've reached the point now where students have this weird idea that they can shut down any book, they can censor any comment in class, they can completely redirect any class simply because they're offended by something. And so my view is, let's get them out of the class the first day. If you're going to be that kind of a student, we're better off without you. So I give them a long list of things that if they're offended by, they need to drop the class.
Give me a...
I love that. Well, welcome back, Dr. Duke. I love that you have students sign that because they can't. I mean, this is life. How are they going to get to college? How are they going to live life if they're so offended by a word or a phrase or a picture, right? How are they going to be in the real world? This is why we have these problems. We have basically kids, little sheltered kids that are trying to run America.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is one of the worst legacies of progressive control of universities. Progressives are in control of our kids' education from the moment they start going to preschool to the moment they graduate from graduate school. And one of the consequences of this radical monolithic progressive control is we're keeping these kids not just ignorant. We know in elementary, middle, and high school they're not performing very well. Things like Common Core is making them worse. But now the problem we have is that not only are these kids ignorant, but they're really, really arrogant about their ignorance. They believe that they're entitled to never have to hear an opinion they don't like. Any book that doesn't conform with their worldview, they're free to censor it. They don't feel they have any reason to read any books from 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 years ago because that's just dead white history. They're so arrogant in their ignorance, and that's what makes such a dangerous combo.
By George Orwell. And where are their parents? How are their parents allowing them to be raised in this little brat way? I mean, I don't get it. My parents would slap me and smack me if it were me growing up. But now these parents are enabling it too.
Well, I think the reality, DeAnna, is that this generation of parents was also educated the way their kids are being educated. So many young parents absolutely believe it's the school's job to educate the kids. That's not my job. I go to work. My wife goes to work. We both have a spin class afterwards. I collect stamps, and she goes out bicycling with her friends for 8 to 10 hours a day. Public school, whether they're educating my kid or not, public school is a place that free babysitting, free daycare, 7-8 hours a day, and we have no responsibility ourselves.
Right, just like YouTube is basically a free babysitter too. YouTube and my iPad would it give the kids. Now that leads me to the next question. I don't know if you're watching the segment earlier, but we were talking about I Am Jazz, that 17-year-old transgender. She's a huge star and has a following of millions of young girls that are watching her. She has a show on TLC. Last week she just had her penis surgery where she chopped off her penis. And everyone's celebrating with this, new gender identity birthday cake. And my question to you is, do people, as a doctor and someone who's worked in schools with young children, do young children not get influenced when one of their peers transitions to the opposite sex or comes out as a transgender? My estimate is that they would come in groups, then they would all of a sudden start feeling pressured or encouraged. It's kind of like contagious, and they might start being more influenced to come out as transgender or think they're a different gender, a gender non-binary. Trans activists say that, oh, it's not contagious like that. It doesn't influence someone when someone's on TV talking about transgenderism or when their friends do. I think otherwise. What do you think?
Yeah, that's absolute nonsense. You don't have to be an educator or a PhD. You don't even have to work with little kids to recognize that little children, the younger the children, the more suggestible they are. If you start teaching kids, as California is going to do, start teaching 5-year-olds that there are 15 different genders, I got news for you. A 4, a 5, a 6, a 7-year-old doesn't have the abstract thinking skills. Their brains have not developed enough for them to be able to understand what that means. So when you start dragging this garbage down into the kindergarten, first and second grade, all you're doing is praising something. The kids don't know what it means, but the kids want your attention and they want your praise. And by the way, the reason more little boys than little girls are gender confused is because little boys, we know, at age 5 and 6 and 7 are much more attention driven than little girls. Little boys at 5, 6, 7, they're going to say whatever the teacher, whatever mommy says is a good thing, they're going to try to pretend to be that because they want your attention. You're taking little kids who don't understand the concepts, but you're telling them this way of thinking, these catchphrases, these buzzwords, when you put on mommy's shoes, or you say that your name isn't really Johnny, it's Jamie. We're going to put you at the front of the class. We're going to have a coming out party for you with the birthday cake. And if you're just boring old Joe, who's just a boring little kid sitting in the back of the room, who's quite content to be a boy, well, you're part of the problem. You're part of the toxic masculinity brigade, right? We are teaching these kids at very young ages very dangerous indoctrination habits.
It's so disgusting. It's so scary. And the fact that parents and the left are just enabling it, celebrating it, is disgusting. Where can people find you? You have the show called The Dr. Duke Show. They can subscribe to you on iTunes. They can go to your website at drdukeshow.com. Anywhere else that people can find you?
Any place you can download podcasts is good. drdukeshow.com would get you there. You could go to Freedom Project, our umbrella organization, FPEUSA.org, and you can navigate your way there. But it is a free podcast, and thanks for giving it a bit of a plug. We do education issues every week, and we do it like nobody else does. We're a solid 35, 40 minutes every week of serious education issues from kindergarten all the way through college.
We're going to have you back a lot more. Thank you so much. Wish the interview was longer, Dr. Duke Pesta, but definitely check out his show at drduke.com. Hey, guys, thank you so much. This is Make Culture Great Again. You're on with DeAnna Lorraine. We're going to go right back to break, and you're on America's Voice News.